has flown by. Aren't you excited? The holiday season is very quickly approaching us, but we're also getting ready for a lot of things to shift in the matrix from the old earth to the new earth. So we want to buckle down the hatches a little bit, stay in love, stay connected, be very mindful. You don't want to be lashing out at people now. You want to be giving, you want to be in service, and you really want to look and be grateful for those in your life that have been helping you, supporting you, and uplifting you. That energy is going to take you a long way. We want to make sure we're not spiraling. So we have to be very, very mindful. I'm going to be running some encore shows over the next couple of weeks. I hope you'll enjoy us as I take a little step back to be with my family and my own children. So quite exciting. So we wanted to sort of prep you as we go into the end of this year and into next year. And I'm really excited because we brought our favorite crystal lady back today, Shivani Sharma. And you know what? You can submit questions this week. So please go and submit your questions. And our incredible producer, Jacob, will put them up in my chat so we can see them. And we will answer them for you, because this time we got to look at crystals where we're going to be digging deep. Now, if you know anything about, if you're in my miraculous program or revolutionary mastermind, I do recommend people, places, and things I like, because we always want the highest vibe. It's really important. And this is why I love bringing Shivani to you guys, is because her crystals, and we're going to talk about a few that she sent to me as well that I just got last night, no accidents. Her crystals are super high vibe. You have to be very discerning in the crystal world to ensure that they are the purest grade. And she's talked about that before. It's like getting a cubic zirconia or you're getting the real diamond. So you want to get the real crystals. And this is what she always brings to us. And I know many of our listeners love her products because I hear about them all the time. And I know they can become a little bit addictive. So we're going to have some fun today. We're going to play in the energy. So submit your questions. And Shivani, I'm so happy that you're joining us as the holidays are here, because what's better than a crystal to give to somebody for the holidays?
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm just so delighted. Okay. So I'm going to start at the top of the hour here with us as you sent me this beautiful, so she sent me this, I got it last night. So I said, no, I sent this beautiful slab of rose quartz. And for people that don't know, can you tell them why this is a really powerful crystal for going through the transition we're going through, how I see it, because we are going through a lot of loss. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of suicides. And we got to deal. We've been prepping for it all year. And I have this slab you gave me, but last year you gave me this beautiful. And sometimes what I get as a question is that what's the difference of the shapes? What are the things they're looking for? What's the importance of them? And why you see rose quartz being so important right now as we go into this winter?
Yeah, well, rose quartz is a really powerful crystal for healing the heart. And because so many people are going through a time in their life where they're feeling the heaviness of what's going on in the world, what's going on in their lives, something like rose quartz has a frequency that can actually dispel that heaviness and help to lift that weighted energy off of the heart. It's also really useful to cope with grief, to cope with sadness, and to just shift the frequency of the heart so that there is less of that heavier energy and more of bringing in the light back in. So it's really wonderful. I know Jessica had reached out to me and said, you have to get me the highest vibe piece for Tracy. And I said, okay, we're sending her the slab because, slabs are wonderful because they can be used as coasters. That's what I love to use them for, or just as charging plates for jewelry. So you can actually put your water on it, and your water will be charged with the frequency of rose quartz. And then you can just drink that and sip on that through the whole day, which is amazing because the energy is going to shift as you're doing that. And you can also put your jewelry on it, anything else that you feel needs to be charged with a loving vibration. You can just use it in that regard. With respect to the other shapes like towers, freeforms, that one that I gave to you last year, that was sent to you, that is is what I like to call a freeform. So those are really lovely just to kind of, is it? Yes, it is. So those are really, Those are lovely to meditate with, to even the little points, wherever there is a point, if you actually direct that to a certain part of your body that feels like it needs a bit of that extra love, extra care, extra attention, the points are really great at being able to do that. So people love to use it for that purpose. And I always say, like in general with crystals, this is a basic rule: follow your gut with respect to what is resonating with you. If there's a certain kind of shape that is calling to you, it's probably because you need that particular shape. You need to get the energy in the way that that shape will provide to you.
Yeah, and it's true. Like this piece is so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And there must have been something in the packaging, because I got your little card, but then there was so much going on when I had someone open it. So I probably missed that little note. So I will apologize there ahead of time. And thank you. I will reach out. Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. And it is true right now. And I think that even the thing I like about this, and this might be too much for some people, but this is also not only something I would use as a coaster, but if you are going through heavy loss and grief, which can take a long time, I would put this either beside your bed or under your pillow or beside you under the pillow to help with the heart. Because I know every time I pick up rose quartz, or if I put it on me like this, you feel the heart, it's going and it's shifting. And so it's extremely, extremely, like, I don't know, I just love the rose quartz. I don't think you can ever get enough of it. But I have experience with rose quartz that if you're having a hard time opening your heart, or you're doing a lot of, negative speak or speaking ill will about people, rose quartz will break or fly away from you. Like, I know it'll, like, people be like, I lost it. And it's like, well, it's done what it can do, but it'll start to move it away from you if you're not ready. So food for thought, right? Okay. I want to get into some good stuff. So what are some of your favorite pieces that you have with you right now that you want to share when you look at which would be amazing for 2022 for people?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really interesting because if you're looking kind of at the energy of the collective, so many people are going through a time of change and transformation. And so lots of people are actually resonating with crystals that provide that change and transformation. And one of the ones that I really love that I just recently put up in my shop is this over here, which is a combination of Chrysocola and Malachite. First of all, it's just so beautiful, that turquoise color. But along with that, this is a very rare combination. It's very rare to actually get the two together. You can find them each separately on their own. But when you look at the energy of both of them, they're just so wonderful for being able to first provide ideas and motivation to create change in your life. And then when you look at malachite, it's literally a crystal of transformation. It is wonderful being able to align you with new people and situations to help you to create that change. And it's also known for breaking outmoded patterns that no longer serve you. So if you're really looking to really overhaul your life, this is a really powerful combination. And I know so many people who are sensitive to energy saw this, and within a second they were like, oh my God, I need to grab that, because this is in a raw form. And in my experience, raw crystals really do vibe really, really high. So this is it if you need that breakthrough.
Yeah, I love malachite. I don't know if I've ever told you my story. Years and years and years ago, I went and picked up this malachite, and it was probably the size of the palm of my hand. And I was so in love with it. I'm like, oh. So I didn't realize how strong it was back then. So I did put it under my pillow. The next day, I was so sick. But I was going through major transformations in my health at the time. I was probably super sick for about 3 days. And I went to my mentor at the time, and she goes, what crystal did you grab? And I said, malachite. And she goes, oh my word. Okay, knowing you probably slept with it. I said, I did. And she's like, you don't know how powerful that crystal is. Like, that's why you're so sick, because it's cleaning out. And like you said, transforming. So I will agree with you that I love it. Like, and that raw crystal, I'm really happy you brought that up, because a lot of people will say, we like the polished, we like this, but there's power in raw crystals. I agree with you.
Yes, there is a lot of power. And I know even a lot of my clients are new to crystals, and they're new to sensing energy. And I always say, if you want to start to develop that ability to sense the energy of a crystal, I recommend working with raw. You're going to pick up on it a lot sooner than you would with a polished piece. But you can definitely viscerally like feel a difference when you're picking up a raw crystal versus a polished one. The type of energy current that begins to run through your body is a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's really powerful. That's beautiful. I know we have a bunch of questions that we're gonna ask, but okay, I want to know what's your next favorite one? That's an incredible one, guys, for going into 2022 because we are transforming so much. So at the end of this year, there's a big shift that's happening, as you know, not only with people that we're going to be losing lingo, but how we function in the world, how we show up in the world. So transformation is going to take on a whole new look, a whole new level, and it's not going to be as slow as you might have, before. We get impatient. It seems like it's going forever. It's going to be quite quick. So that crystal, what Shivani is saying, is going to help you through the transformation. So what might, and this is my experience, I'd love to hear what you think, but if you put that in your energy, I'm just going to say what took a month, you're going to see a lot of that stuff come up to clear probably within a week. Have you noticed that yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It happens pretty quickly. So get ready to tackle everything head on. You're not going to have a break for the first little bit.
Yeah. Be prepared. Yeah. It's not going to take forever. Okay. What's your next favorite one for 2022?
Okay, so another one that I recently brought in is this over here, which is very rare. Now it's called Sticktite, also known as Atlanticite. It is also from South Africa. Now it's a combination of a few different kinds of minerals together. But what is really amazing about this is that it actually clears from crown to heart to expand spiritual awareness and to bolster intuition. So lots of people are wanting to move into a more heart-based existence, want to have a greater connection to the universe, want to be able to receive the divine guidance and move forward in a way that is more consistent with their heart's desire. And this is an amazing crystal that can actually allow for bringing all of that into you and helping you when you're making those big changes in your life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that is, again, like so aligned for where we're going. And guys, if you can see how gorgeous that is, if you're listening, it's beautiful. It's got the greens and the purples. And it literally, and again, 2022, as we know, guys, is about living more in a heart space. So what we felt was valuable or important for all of our existence so far to now is going to change. And the only way that changes is by dropping in the heart and realizing our connections, our friends, our loved ones, how we show up in the world is more important than all the other stuff and nonsense out there. That is absolutely beautiful.
They're beautiful and they are so hard to come by. I'll tell you that. Another thing I'm going to tell you is if you jump onto Etsy, the tiniest piece of it is really expensive. So I'm selling these for a steal just because I want people to have it. I think it's really important to have for moving into the new year. So I made them super affordable so that people can actually use it. Yeah.
Oh, you're always doing that, especially for the community. That's why people love your stuff so much, because you run from a heart base and you're all about heart. And that's why I love having you on, because your energy aligns so much with you. This is your calling when you're working with people energetically and using the crystals and teaching them how to move it, and you're in the right place. And that's why we love you so much.
Thank you.
But you have that awareness too. Like I said, it is. And crystals can be expensive, guys, but no, it's because you're getting the good quality. So remind yourself that it's okay to spend some good money into good quality, and you will have them for a very, very long time.
Yes, and they don't depreciate in value either in any way. And I really do reiterate that, because I personally only sell grade A and above. You're going to see the prices reflect, the quality that you're purchasing. So it is an investment, but I think most people, especially in your community, Tracy, who want to work with crystals are working with it to actually get change in their life and to actually have the shifts energetically. And if you work with a low grade crystal, you're just not going to get that. And in fact, it can actually operate against you because it'll bring your frequency down. So I'm really, really picky about quality in my shop, and very transparent with everybody about the grades that I bring in for that reason.
I'm really happy you brought that up. A lot of people don't talk about that because they're just selling, oh, I got a bracelet for $10. I'm like, and you are right. If you have a low grade quality crystal or you bring something in like that, it's no different than bringing a negative person in your life. It's going to do not the what you want it to do. People don't talk about that. You just got a good tip, good tip, good tip. That I do love. Okay, so let's. I want to see some more because I know you have some more before we go into the questions.
So people who have been following my shop and who know me for a while know that I love shapes. Crystal shapes are just such a fun way of connecting with crystals. And so what I did this year was for this winter time, I got in a bunch of winter shapes. So this is actually a white onyx, and this is in the shape of a little snowman, but I also have them in what I think is so adorable, little mittens. For the winter. And I also have a little ginger man left. But it's just such a, yeah, there you got your ginger man.
Here, but I keep him by my bed. Still, I love him. And I have to show, I keep my moon on my desk. I keep my
yeah.
on my bed.
It's such a, lighthearted way of being able to connect with crystals. And especially during the winter time, like how cute is it if you're meditating with a mitten, right? So I just feel like it kind of keeps you in that sense of, childlike wonder and play, which is so important for our energy. And so these are white onyx. White onyx is from Mexico. It's beautiful for being able to just cleanse you, cleanse your energy, bring peace, which is also so important moving into the next year, and some good calm energy. So these are also very, very affordable and just so cute. I love them.
Yeah, they're adorable. And these are all good things, like we said, as gifts. So if you have somebody in your realm that is maybe needing a shift in their life, or you don't know what to do, because a lot of times when people are going through stuff, you can't it's like the lifeguard thing, right? If a lifeguard's not going to jump in and grab the drowning person, but they can give them tools and things, because if we do that, you're going to drown too, and you're going to have all these problems. And then a lot of times that's what we do with people we know and love, is we're like, oh, and we panic, and especially when we're doing things that are just not helping or serving us. And so crystals are a nice way to be able to give a gift. And I always say it's art. Like crystals to me are artwork, right? So it's like, I'm giving you this piece. This is what it's for. It's a gentle way to start opening somebody's energetic field, and then they get to have. So if you have mittens, that could be something. If you give somebody crystal mittens that maybe not be aware, it's a nice way. It's not too big. It's kind of fun. Like you said, they can have it in the wintertime, even if they wrap it up and put it away with their Christmas stuff and then they take it out. Yes, we want them to cleanse it, but it is a nice way to sort of get into people's fields that you care about. Subtly.
Yes, and especially if they're new to crystals, if they see a shape that's more relatable, then it's a little easier for them to use it as well.
Yeah. And these ones are great, I find, even for children, if you want something fun in their bed or fun, and because kids love crystals. They love it. Like you say, the play, and these are great presents for children as well. Okay. So I'm going to ask a question, and then I want to know your next. This is like, what are your favorite things, Shivani? So there is a question here where someone's been in the cycle of bullying. And usually when we get bullied, we know we have to reset our boundaries, and that can be hard. So we have that attraction. So what crystal would you recommend for some people that are feeling like they have been bullied? And I know there's a big energy of being bullied from even our governments or institutions. So what is something that you relate to that say, hey, this can also help? Because these are as we're setting new boundaries personally. What can help them?
Yeah, so I really believe that you can use black tourmaline. First of all, I use that for anybody who's caught up in either toxic relationships or feel like they're getting negative energy from other people, and having, been bullied myself when I was a child. I can totally relate to this. So black tourmaline is wonderful for being able to dispel the negativity and also to strengthen your energy field so that you don't allow for any of that negative energy to come in the first place. And it's such a easy crystal to use too, because you can be quite discreet about it. For example, if you're going to a workplace where you feel like that's happening, or a certain environment, you can just keep it in your pocket, or you can even wear it in the form of a pendant under your sweater. So that way you have it, or as a bracelet, that way you have it on you when you're in those environments where you feel vulnerable, and it can strengthen your energy field so that you don't take that on.
Yeah, because quite often when we're experiencing that, it's having for us too, right? Not take it on and reset our own boundaries and how we show up in the world and teach people how to treat us differently, right? Which is really good. All right. So what okay, before we go to another question, what else you got in your pile there? I want to know.
So another thing that I just recently brought in are these beautiful Alchemy Amethyst pendants from Turkey. So
Wow.
this amethyst is really, really high quality, like exceptionally high grade, and it is so sparkly. It's only mined in Turkey. You can't get this anywhere else. And they make such fabulous gifts as well because they're quite the statement piece. But amethyst, as we know, is wonderful for being able to remove anxiety, remove stress, bring peace into the system, balance the nervous system. So anybody that is feeling overwhelmed with what's happening in the world or with their lives, this can be a really centering crystal for them.
And is it centered in silver?
So this is actually plated, it's electroplated with gold around it, but it's completely raw at the back, you'll see. So it's like the actual stone. So, and it's completely raw. It hasn't been polished anyway on the front or the back. So that's why the vibe is so high on these.
Beautiful. So what's your suggestion then if somebody isn't used to wearing, because you have to have an integration with them if they're not used to wearing a piece, because that'll probably drop depending on the line, right? You're in the throat, you're in the heart chakra, you're in all this space. What do you suggest for someone who's not used to, and they say, I love that piece, I want to wear something like that. When they get it, how do you suggest they integrate with it?
Yeah, so this is definitely important to do with amethyst because I know a lot of people who are quite sensitive to it. And I have to say, just because we're on the topic of amethyst, people make assumptions in the crystal community and they say, well, I'm feeling super anxious, so I should get amethyst. You need to be a little careful just because amethyst can also overactivate your third eye and can actually make anxiety worse, which is why it's important to understand exactly what's going on with you energetically before you choose a crystal for yourself. So it's not the case that everybody who's feeling anxiety will wear amethyst and then feel better. It can actually be the direct opposite. But what you want to do is if you feel attracted to it and your intuition is telling you that it'll be good for you, get it, but then start to integrate slowly. So that means that you're going to wear it for a little bit and then you're going to take it off and then maybe wear it a little bit more the next time, as opposed to just keeping it on you for the full day. Because that way your system will start to build up to be able to integrate it and allow for the shift to occur also in a way that won't be as overwhelming.
Yeah, that's really important because if you are feeling that intensity, you leave it on, you can be creating more problems within your energetic field. And I'm glad you brought that up. And that's the problem. Like, I shouldn't say problem. I think that's the problem that people get into with the crystals. And this is why I like, because you work with the energetic body as well, is when we work with the energetic body, we can see what's better for the body and how to integrate it. When you just pick up a book and say, oh, that's for anxiety, I'll get that, like you said. And this is why I like how you integrate it all, because it's a full picture, it's a full circle. And then say, oh, okay, maybe the body requires, like you said, A, B, and C, because you don't want to be creating, I always say you don't want to create more harm in the body or more discomfort than you need to. But you probably see that a lot. People say, oh, well, the crystal book says that. That's just a general, right? That's what people have to understand. It's a general idea.
It's a general idea. And you also have to remember that the people who came up with those descriptions and everything, it's what they were getting at the time. But that doesn't mean that you have to rely on what they're saying. You should rely on what is being said to you through your own intuition. So that's why I actually, while I have the books for reference and that kind of thing, the way that I discern the meaning of a crystal and what it can do for me is by actually reading the energy myself, working with it myself. And it's quite often the case that how one crystal works for someone can be different and how it works for another person. So always, always rely more on your intuition than the written word.
And I really love that, because that's working with the new earth energy. That's working with your energy. And that is the new earth energy she's talking about, guys, is going within. And even though someone wrote it's for anxiety, you may find if you're guided with that, it might, I don't know, it could work on your pancreas. Like you can see it's pointing to many different things. So Shivani is right bang on in new earth energy. And that can also create clashes in our fields. Like I see it in my field. I know you see it in your field, because we're working in new earth. People want to stay in the older. So they're in these spaces, it doesn't mean they're moving to the new earth. They want you to stay stuck in old earth energy, which keeps you stuck as well. Because I know you've had that issue. I see it too. No, you have to teach the way the old. And we're like, no. And you do that with your crystals and your energy too.
Yes, one of my most favorite things to do is dispel myths around crystals, because there are so many myths. Things like you don't have to cleanse selenite. Of course you have to cleanse selenite. It's a crystal, just like other crystals. And people say, no, it's, it cleanses itself, and it's fine. It can actually be used to cleanse other crystals. And there's just so many myths that have been perpetuating because one person wrote that down. Many people just followed it blindly. Nobody bothered to question it. And what I've been doing is I've been looking at these myths, and I've been using my intuition to discern what's the truth versus what isn't, and then making choices accordingly with how I work with them. So that's what I try to teach my clients as well, is how do you tap into that for yourself so that you're actually working with them in the best possible way, and you're not allowing yourself to just follow blindly what has been perpetuating for so long.
Sounds like leaving the old earth, doesn't it? As we rewrite our history and learn all the things we need to relearn. I was saying that the other day, it's time to unlearn again, right? And that's exactly what you're saying. And we're coming into new, powerful information. So I love it. Okay, let's take another few questions here. Hang on. You guys can submit your crystal questions. Okay. So let's just see what we've got here. So for financial flow, so a lot of people are having challenges in their financial flow, and I'll do some adjustments for people that are while Shivani's talking. But you also have to remember, we're heading into a period where our financial system, is getting ready to flip on its head. We know they're getting ready to reset, and things are going to look scary for a little while for people that don't understand what's coming down the pipe. We talk a lot about that in our community. So what crystal would you say is best for people that really, they've got to bring more into their life? You might have a few, but more financial flow, but more connection, so they understand. I guess what I'm asking is more connection to understand, not only to bring the flow, but understand their money, understand how to react with it, understand how to learn something new. What can help them open up that center?
Yeah, for sure. So, citrine is such a powerful crystal for bringing in abundance and prosperity. But the other reason I really like it is because it encourages you to step into your own power and to take control of your life, and to take control of things like your finances. So that in and of itself is great. But if you want to also get in the heightened awareness and the wisdom to make those better decisions, then you can also use something like a Chevron Amethyst. I actually have quite a few in my shop. I have one over here that I can show. So this little one over here is so cute. So Chevron Amethyst is a particular kind of amethyst that is really known for heightening awareness and really bolstering your intuition to empower decision making. So if you were to couple this with a citrine, you would find that you're getting the wisdom, and you're opening up that third eye to have that awareness to better see and to better perceive, to understand what it is that you need to do, along with the energy coming from this citrine to encourage that natural flow of abundance and prosperity.
That's huge. I'll show you. I've had this one for, I think, about 10 years. I love it. It's my citrine. It's over 10 years. So this one's traveled a lot with me. I think you're supposed to put your spoon there, but I don't put my spoon there. I keep it in the sun, and I love it. I have citrine caves. So, okay. Can you let people know the important places because you can have it on you, but if it's in your home, there's certain places your citrine could be. Could you let them know?
Yeah, for sure. So citrine in particular, if you're looking at encouraging financial flow, abundance, prosperity, that's a great work desk crystal. So wherever it is that you do your work, you would want to put it in that area, especially if you feel like you're getting caught up in fear, or you're getting caught up in like the limited programs that tend to run in your minds about making money. As you're going through your workday, and if you start to have that, what the citrine is going to do is it's going to interact with that mental body and begin to shift that out. So I highly encourage citrine to be used around the work desk area. Now, it has a bit of an active energy, so it's actually one that I suggest you don't keep by your bedside or that you sleep with. It is more of a daytime crystal.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Don't be putting crystal caves in your bed. Just like even amethyst cave. I always say don't put those caves in your bedroom. You'll be like, ah. They're
It's
beautiful.
so true. They can definitely keep you up at night. So be careful.
I agree. So I know Debbie had asked about heart, but we already went through that one. So the good one you can use for that is definitely the rose quartz that Shivani showed. So the other question here is, what's the best crystal for staying focused on moving forward with a big life change? And my labradorite, hang on, palm stone I got from you is still one of my favorites. So that's from Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry. I'm so happy that you are using the labradorite, because that's another crystal that is often used for transformation. So people find that the more that they work with that, they do start to see that they can move forward with transitions a lot more easier. Another thing is the crystal that I recommended right up at the beginning, which is the Chrysocola with the malachite.
Oh, I have to stop you there. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm like, Sherry, you have to call her. I want that crystal. I hope you have a few. I'm looking at that crystal going, aside for me, I'm telling you. Don't worry, Sherry, we'll get you one too. Have it first. It's okay. But she's going to get me one too. No, because the power in that crystal, well, you know, I love malachite, but the power in that crystal, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm like, Sherry needs that one from the beginning. Yeah, you can see it.
To me, this is like a notch above using labradorite. Another thing about these is, I didn't mention this before, but they have dendrites in them. So they're like these little black spots that look a bit like branches. And when you have a
little more to the camera so people can see, like, oh yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you have dendrites, it's all about creating new connections to the people, to the situations, to bring in that transformation for yourself in the way that you're looking for it. So this is why this is honestly my favorite of my offerings right now.
Putting one aside, we're going to get off. And she's like, okay, so you better have a few.
Yeah. Because again, very rare to get so many things going on in one crystal, and they're all for the same person.
Like, I want to take that out of the screen. I want that one.
Yeah, it's beautiful and super potent. So Sherry, I'd recommend you get your hands on one of these.
Don't worry, Sherry. I'll let you go first. It's okay. Shivani knows she'll put one aside. This happens when we do the shows. And I'm like, oh, she's got something. Look at that one. I love it. So Sherry, I agree with what Shivani's saying, like this in your field, and it's strong. So just, you can see you're going to get an urge, things are going to come out of your mouth and you're going to move, and just run with it. We'll keep helping support you. Just run with it. I love it. Okay. So what else is in our treasure chest there for 2022?
So many things. Okay. So this is another thing that I have, which is called sodalite. And
wow.
Absolutely beautiful. This is, okay, first of all, I have to say there's a lot of sodalite on the market. This is crazy high quality. I've never seen it this clear. And the minute that my supplier showed they're from Brazil, I was like, oh my God, I have to get these in, because I'm used to seeing the ones that come in from the East that are not so great.
Yeah, they're not.
The way it was polished and cut. So this is absolutely wonderful for being able to support opening up awareness to the unseen. And it also is really, really great for supporting clairaudience, or being able to hear. And one thing that my clients have reported with this, in comparison to something like amethyst, is that it's a lot more grounding. So it is a lot easier for people to integrate this. They tend to integrate this a lot sooner in their system, and they also don't feel off balance, or they don't feel lightheaded when they're connecting with it. And it achieves a very grounded effect, while at the same time opening up those higher energy centers to spiritual awareness. So love them. Again, really like not as common to be able to find them in a high quality. And I have a ton of them, and it's just one of my favorite crystals for using for that purpose.
Yeah, so one more you'll put in my pile. For real. One thing Shivani doesn't know is my house, we can see a little bit, is filled with that blue color and the white. And that crystal, guys, if you're looking at it, the power in that is huge. As soon as you picked it up, you could just feel the drawing towards it. And right now, everybody, it doesn't matter how aware you are, how in tune you are, our skills are going to another level. So you want crystals like that, because all of our skills are opening to a new level. Like, I don't even get complacent and say, well, I've done it this way forever. Like we were saying before, your abilities, all of our abilities are opening. So these crystals you want. So she's going to put that in my pile too. Okay. If you have more questions, and just submit them and we'll make sure we answer. All right, what else is in there? This is like Christmas. What else you got in there?
So these are also really cute. So I got these in, and they're little turtles. As we talk about shapes.
Yeah.
Now, these are flower agate turtles, and flower agate is a wonderful crystal for being able to really, really commit to your dreams and bring them into your life. So many entrepreneurs like to use this. Many people who are feeling hesitant to pursue their dreams, but really want to like to use this. It's one that I consistently receive client testimonials about how it's created exactly what they've wanted to create for themselves. So I have them in these cute little turtle forms, but I also have them in the form of bracelets. And they're just wonderful, wonderful when you really want to see your dreams grow and you want to see them manifest.
Is there, because we know that animals all bring very different healing properties. So do you find there's a connection, like if you have a shape with a crystal change for people that are like, does the shape make a difference sometimes too?
It does. And one of the things I liked about the turtle, especially for flower agate, is because turtles are associated with slow and steady wins the race. And so it reminds us to be patient as we are moving forward on our path to create our dreams. And that's why this really resonated with me, because it had that symbolism along with the natural energetic property of the flower agate.
Last night we were on the evolutionary mastermind and I said to somebody had a question and I said, it's like the tortoise and the hare story. And I said, although you think the hare is winning the race, because right now it was like, oh, it looks like everybody's living their best life and I feel left behind, just different choices, and that's okay. And I said, but the turtle, it's funny you brought it, because I've not brought up anything about turtles in a long time. So guys, listen, there's no accidents how spirit works. And I said, the turtle might be slower, but your dreams, your visions, and where you will be is far ahead of what you're perceiving, people living their best life while you've made choices that just keep you a little bit slower. So how ironic is that? I think that energy now, so you're going, wow, you guys need some turtles. If you have your dreams and your visions, can you hold up that little turtle again?
I can, Mr. Turtle.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh my word, so cute. And where does did you say he comes from, Brazil too, or no?
This is from Madagascar.
Oh, from Madagascar. Oh,
yes.
I love it. Because you source your crystals from all over the world. You don't
all over the world, Tracy, all over.
You do. And pretty soon you'll be going to many more places. So some of your other favorites for 2022. Let's see some more.
So many. So another one that I want, I've had these and some of them sold and some of them haven't. It's just a matter of resonance. Now these are beautiful Drizzy agate towers. Wow. And they're coated with aura. Now the aura is completely natural. It's natural metals. I don't do any crystals in my shop that are dyed or that kind of thing. So they just use natural metals on top of it to amplify the properties. And what this is associated with is grounding, balance, and stability. And people love to put this on their desk just to keep them centered and grounded throughout the day. I have had lots of clients tell me that their emotions are a lot more stable after connecting with an agate like this. And so people who feel like, things are a little chaotic or they feel overly emotional because there's so much going on, this can really help to center and ground you.
Well, and I would highly recommend that if people right now are dealing with sick family members or the loss and this big transition we're going through, if you're finding it more challenging, and you're finding it more challenging because you're angry, you don't feel grounded, you're feeling like the world's against you, you're spitting venom, like all this stuff, like we all know when we're not grounded and we're afraid of something, right? Or we feel that crystal is a must, because now is the time. And this is why I was so happy that you were able to come at this time. No accidents, to do the show. Is we are going through very ungrounded, settling times. This is not like, oh, it's just going to turn tomorrow. This is not what we're going through. And any tools. And that is not only a beautiful piece. And I think that what I love about your crystals is you bring beautiful pieces. So if they're on your desk and somebody doesn't understand, like I said before, who cares? It's artwork. Or if you need, sometimes what I do, and I was looking, I have, I don't know where I put it because I had it last night. So it's probably in my bedroom. But what I do I have the some of your little towers, like the little ones, right, that are in the hands. What do you call those again? The little pointy, they look like little towers, are long. I have a purple one from you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're usually called towers or points, so I'm assuming
Points,
that's
points. Okay, I was having a brain moment here, so I'm like, but what I do sometimes, so if I have it, I don't know where the purple one went. I must be in my room. I must have moved it. But sometimes, even if I'm on a call or something, I just grab it in my hand. Nobody knows, right? They're not seeing it. Or so if you're at office and you need some more grounding, you could just put that on your lap. Just to, if you want it more, like you need more power, right? They could just put it on their lap and then set it back on their desk again. And you got beautiful artwork. But also, would you be safe to say, so people that work, we have a lot of people that do work in government offices and they're very stressful right now. But if they put something like that on their desk, because a lot of these are open offices, the other people are going to get the benefit from it too, right?
Absolutely, yes, because the crystals are going to be working on your environment in general. So it actually, I do recommend people who are going through challenges at work to definitely keep a few on their desk for that reason.
Yeah. Do you have another one you'd recommend if people have? Because a lot of people are going to these work environments. I know they're still doing work at home, but do you have any other suggestions for their desks?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what a person is going through with challenges. The agate is fantastic, but also actually the purple one that you're talking about, Tracy, that you have is lepidolite, and that is really good for being able to get rid of anxiety and keep you peaceful. And not just you, but also your surroundings. So lepidolite is like the classic one that people use when they're feeling a little anxious and they feel like they just need to have a little more peace and calm brought into either their environment or their system. A lot of people also who, for example, are scared of flights or that type of thing will tend to carry it with them onto a plane. So that can be another really great one if you are finding yourself in an environment where you are pretty stressed out at work.
Yeah, I find it just brings more peace. But you know what I find as someone who deals with energy all day long is it also creates a little bit, I've noticed for me, if so I tend to grab it if I'm dealing with someone that's a little bit more stressed. And I find that by holding it and working, it keeps me in my very calm, centered state. Because people ask me, if you get mad, I said, if you ever hear me mad, you have crossed the boundaries, big, big time. I don't get mad very often. But if I can sense and I'm like, wow, you're going through a lot and they're very anxious, I find by holding it as doing my work is very beneficial to keep me centered while I'm working.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. That's something that is such a great tool to have.
Yeah. So anybody that's doing energy work, and I know a lot of you are doing body regen, like this is a great piece to pick up and have in if you're learning, and especially if you're learning, the January ones where we're doing more like curses and witchcrafts and spells and things, because there's a lot of that coming off the planet. This is a great piece. And what I like about the crystals is if you're using them and you're working just like Shivani is with people and energy, and she uses the crystals, but it's helping her energy to stay stable. So don't forget that. And I know we're almost at the top of the hour. We'll do this again, but people are asking, where do I get your crystals? So let's do your plug now and we'll do it again at the top.
Sure. So you can find me online. So on Instagram, I'm Crystal Energetics. I'm also on TikTok where I'm doing a lot more educational content. And you can also jump onto my website, metaenergetics.com, and you can send me an email through there and I'd be happy to help you with any questions you have or anything you'd like to see.
And we'll have the link below. And if you're in also too, we'll put Shivani's links in our free memberships or in the Academy. So you guys can always find her as well if you're wondering where that is. Okay. So best crystal for balancing hormones for teenagers.
Oh, interesting. It's a really great question, actually. So for hormone balance, I find that like using the crystals that are light blue in color, like the Chrysocola, actually work fantastic. Also, you want to look at carnelian. It's really, really great for balancing hormones, especially if it's a female, I will say. It's wonderful for that. Another thing that you can also consider is something like a sodalite, because the grounding energy from this actually also influences the biochemistry in the body. So this could be really great in achieving a balancing effect.
That's beautiful. Carnelia is gorgeous. Do you have one in front of you? Maybe not. I don't know, but
not on this table.
I know we're getting to the top of the hour, and Jacob will let me know when we're almost there. I can't believe an hour. I'm like, oh my gosh, we'll be doing more things anyways. Cool stuff unfolding. So let's rattle off a few. I want you to pick like 5 more of your favorites.
Oh, my favorites. Okay, so I did bring quite a few of my favorites. So one of my favorites is Chimerite. Now, Tracy, I gave you a bracelet version of this one.
It's powerful, guys, because I actually take it on and off. So I put this one on because it was powerful. New ones I usually wear by themselves. I don't know if you know that for a while. Then I'll put the other ones on. That is powerful. Power.
Definitely one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful in my collection. It is very rare. And it is wonderful for brain balance and harmony and making sure that your nervous system is nice and balanced. It also opens up the crown and the third eye, really good for people who are channeling energy, really good for people who are channelers of information. And it's just, the frequency is just incredible. Now, sometimes you may see a little bit of a green kind of property in it as well. The green is actually associated with cleansing energy, cleansing the aura, cleansing the energy field. So you can get the 2 frequencies going on at the same time. It's common for a couple of them to coexist, but the purple itself is the Chimerite, and honestly is just phenomenal in terms of what it does.
But I'll also say, so I don't wear the bracelet too much when I go out because I do find it amplifies everything. So I tend to wear it more when I'm working at home in the day. And that's just for me because, you know, I'm open all the time and I don't want any, like a lot of times I just want to go out and sort of close down things. So again, if you find you're really open or too open, just that was my experience. It's incredibly beautiful, but I work from home most times. So I wear it in the day, or if I'm going to go for a walk, that's okay. But if I'm going to be going to a crowded place, I actually don't wear it. I find it amplifies way too much, which is good.
Yeah. I'm sure, Tracy, for you, like amplification means something entirely different.
Yeah, than most people. That's true. I'm like, I don't want to see that.
But I find myself too that Chimerite, I use it more during while I'm doing energy work, that kind of thing. It's not something that's on me all the time, but it is also really one of those ones where you may not want to wear to bed as a bracelet because there's a lot of brain balancing that happens. And I made the mistake of doing that once and I woke up with a massive headache and I was just feeling so out of it for the rest of the day. So be a little careful. This is another one you want to integrate.
Not to bed. I agree. No bed. You might even astral travel to places you're like, oh my word.
Yes. So another crystal that I really love is called Galaxy Amethyst. So this is a newer kind of amethyst that is just ridiculously beautiful. It's super high quality. It comes in the forms of freeforms, hearts, towers. Now I'm going to be at Tucson for the gem show at the end of January. I'm going to get a bunch of this in, but it's just wonderful. It's from Uruguay. And the reason I love it is, aside from it just being beautiful, there's something about amethyst, Uruguay amethyst, that is just completely different from the Brazilian kind that I find to be higher frequency actually. So Turkey amethyst, which is like the pendants that I was showing you before, and Uruguay amethyst are my 2 favorite kind. But beautiful, beautiful. This is actually really hot in the market right now just because people see it, they love the sparkles and they just can't get enough of it.
Wow, it is gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yes. And then I'm going to show you now, I've showed this before, but this is Tiffany Stone, and this is incredibly rare. So this, the mine that actually, it doesn't really come from a mine. So what happens is this is produced in Utah, but the place where it can technically be mined, it's not being used for that purpose. So there's some employees that are actually smuggling this out, like the material out to create the crystal because it's such a phenomenal one and it's so high in demand. But the person who owns that particular site is not interested in producing it as a crystal. So it's really hard to get your hands on these. It's very, very expensive. But, you know, aside from the Chimerite, I would say that this is the other super powerful one that's in my collection. Now, it is easier to find it in jewelry form. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get some pendants when I head over to Tucson. So watch my space. I will probably be offering Tiffany Stone pendants soon. But there's just, people keep on asking me, like, what's your absolute favorite crystal? It is Tiffany Stone.
I love it. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
Yes, it is beautiful.
Do you have one more there before I ask you your final words for people?
So another thing that I really am fond of is pink amethyst. Now, Tracy, I know you have one of these, but I have them in different shapes like clouds. I have towers. And the reason I really, really love it is because It's just so wonderful at being able to clear your heart on a higher level. It has a kind of spiritual heart clearing energy to it. And it also comes in so many different colors. So you can get it like in the form of like, you know, an obelisk like this and like a cotton candy kind of color, or you can get it more in like the oranges or the blues or the pinks. So there's just a lot of variation in it. It is only comes from Brazil, and I think there's a bit of it from Argentina, but it is very, very powerful in terms of what it offers in being able to not just clear the heart, but also draw in new relationships into your life. And what my most favorite property of it is that it allows you to see things from a higher perspective and give you a bird eye view. So especially if you're somebody who's dealing with anxiety or you're struggling with your faith, holding on to this can help to shift your perspective so that you see that bird eye view.
Yeah, and it's always good for what we're going through for 2022 to be able to observe, like you said, and to be up there. I know I keep mine in my room. I like it in there. We're friends, and it just feels good. And but it's true because right now, walking into what we're walking into, we need to be detached. We need to look and say, okay, let me look from a higher perspective so I can see what's going on, so I can make better decisions and choices. Because a lot of times, if we're not able to look, like you say, from that bird's eye view, then we get into the shit. Then we're in the muck. Then we're like, we're spiraling, we're lashing out, we're doing that. And that's just going to bring you into a dark place for next year. So that one I love. And I don't know how you feel about it in the bedroom, but I love it in the bedroom. We're really good friends. We don't.
Yeah, I do actually have a lot of pink amethyst in my bedroom. I find that even though, it actually is more similar to quartz in its properties than amethyst if you actually look at what it's made up of. But I haven't had any issues with sleeping or anything like that by keeping that around me.
I love it. I love it. All right. So let's let everyone know where they can find you again. But also I want to know what are your thoughts for people that you want to leave? It can be crystals, it can be something that comes to you, but as people are heading into this time and they're preparing for transition and what you've seen and what what do you want to leave the audience with too?
I would say just trust your intuition and don't underestimate your own power. And crystals are such a fundamental part of that. Every time when I go to my little shelf of crystals, I don't just see beautiful crystals or stones, I see a frequency cabinet. And I look at myself and I say, okay, where am I today? And what do I need to select from my little frequency cabinet to get me to where I need to be? And when you approach it in that way and you're following your intuition in making those choices, you're really empowering yourself to shift your own energy and to begin to change your life in the way that you want it to change. So that would just be my final word is just follow your gut, follow your intuition, and don't underestimate your power. And crystals can help you step into that.
I love it. And I'm sure your little frequency cabinet's not so little.
True. It's still growing too.
I love that because you're also bringing in the play energy, which is very beautiful when you say that, because you're teaching people, and that's what you're doing, teaching them to play and become more heart-centered. And where can they all find you again?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Crystal Energetics with the TIX at the end, or you can find me at metaenergetics.com and send me an email, shoot me a DM, and I'd be so happy to get back to you.
So you're teaching on TikTok. Now, where can they find you on TikTok? I just went to TikTok, so I got to come find you. I'm learning. I have someone helping. I'm like, okay.
Yes. So I'm Crystal Energetics on TikTok as well. Yes. Okay. And I've done a couple of teaching videos. There are going to be many more in the new year that I'm working on right now. And it's just like, I love to share information. And I want people to know that when you are purchasing from me, it's not just about getting the crystal. If you have any questions, if you need any advice on how to work with them, please ask me. I'm always so eager and happy to share.
You are. And I can't thank you enough for coming on the show again and sharing your wonderful, beautiful self inside and outside, your knowledge, your expertise. You are definitely a force that's going to be going hardcore in 2022. You can see it. And I'm just so honored to be able to watch that unfold. It makes me emotional because I know where you've come from. And I can promise everybody listening, you are going to be so happy. Not only is her product amazing, but her heart is there and she will not leave you. And it's so important that you understand when you say what works for me, she's going to tune in. Shivani knows energy. She's been training. She knows. So when she'll tune in and she'll say, this is what I know will work. And it might be something different than you think. but I trust if you follow your intuition, if she makes a suggestion, listen. So thank you so much for coming. I'm so honored to have you again. We will see you again in our new space in 2022. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have an incredible holiday season. You'll come and watch some of the encore shows. We'll see you in the new year. And just take this time. If you want to know more up-to-date information that's happening, come join me on the Telegram. You can join the link at the bottom of our website, tracyLclark.com. That's where you'll find the Telegram link where I'll be updating. If you're in the Academy, she'll have a lot more updates going on as we transition through the end of this year from old Earth to new Earth on a whole new level. So have an incredible week, everyone. Have an incredible holiday. Lots of love from my home to yours, and we will see you in the new year.
Thank you for listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I teach you how to connect to the God consciousness so you can unlock your superpowers and connect at light speed and live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where together we will unlock the secrets of your body and your life. As the founder of the Body Regeneration Academy, I, Tracy L., will provide you with the insight and simple tools you can apply right now in your life to move you forward and leave the past in the dust. To join the Body Regeneration TLC Online Academy, make sure you check me out at tracylclark.com.